Thank you very much, dear Guruji, for again meeting us and willing to clarify our questions further on this topic of yoga, which we continue asking. And today we wanted to ask you about the pranayama in general. What is pranayama? And he was also mentioning that pranayama was used during the exercises, certain breathing patterns. And what is basically speaking pranayama, if you kindly will explain us.
The simple meaning of pranayama is regulation of breath. We all know the importance of breath. We can go without food for how many days?
40, 50.
And we can go without water for how many days?
7, 10.
And we can go without breathing how many days? No, how many minutes? We can go without food and water for a longer duration, but without breathing, we will die instantly. So what is important in our life? Eating, drinking, or breathing? So it is called, it is said, breathe is life. Virtually it is so. When we were first born, what did we first do? We took the first breath of the earth, oxygen. First oxygen we derived. Though with unhappiness, we were crying at that time. And then our life begins with the first breath. And when we will breathe for the last time, then at that time we will not cry, but those who are alive after us, they will cry for us. But there is the end of our life. So life is a span between first breath and the last breath. When somebody dies, we do say, he breathed his last. So what is last? If there is some number, you can say this is the last number. So there must be number of breaths. And yes, for each one of us, the God has fixed number of breaths. Depending on our past karmas, He has fixed our destiny. We can't get one more breath. Our lifespan is calculated in terms of breath. Now, how precious breath is for living long. If you have money in your purse, depending on the availability of the money, you will decide how to spend, for what to spend, how much to spend. Because then without money again you can't live for long. So you will spend the money miserly. You can't throw it away like an extravagant person. But we are using breath, which is our money for the lifetime, extravagantly. I say spend it miserly, then you can live long. And who wants to die soon? Everybody wants to live long. Then spend your breath miserly. Now, normal inhalation, exhalation Some people take 12 breaths in a minute and 12 inhalation, 12 exhalation. Some may take 15, 16, 8, depends. If we do some exercise, run, then our breath is always fast. Means we are spending our breath very fast. So all other exercises you do, you are spending your breath fast. But you feel, oh, you are developing the muscle and all that, but you are utilizing your quota of breath earlier. Asana, pranayama saves your breath. If other exercises are vigorous and helps your muscular development, the other side is you are spending your lifetime quickly during those minutes. Now you want to remain healthy, build up a good body, not muscular but healthy, flexible, not stiff. So asana will help. Even during asana, look into my book of classical tune. In every posture I have mentioned, inhale, exhale at this point, withhold. That means your breath is spent slowly. So it helps, and at the same time you get the exercise necessary for the body. So that way asana exercise is superior to the other exercises we discussed yesterday. Today we are discussing pranayama. So pranayama is straight away extending the span of one breath. Inhale, withhold, retain, and then exhale. It would take time in all the three. So then, if you can do good pranayama, then if you take 25 breaths and exhale 25 times, inhale 25, you will spend 1 hour complete. Anulom Vilom Pranayama for cleansing purifying the nadis of the body, that is prescribed. If you can perform one Anulom Vilom Pranayama properly, 1 minute will pass. More than 1 minute will pass. So you will reach a stage when you continuously perform 25 Anulom Vilom Pranayama and look at the clock. Exactly you will spend 1 hour. A sadhak should reach at least that stage. In willful practice of pranayama, then his prana energy will be strong. And that is the fuel for our future progress on the path of spiritual practice. So more fuel we can go longer, less fuel we can go to a smaller distance. So breath is very important, and in pranayama it is regulation of breath. Yogic texts tell us that pranayama has 3 components: inhalation, retention, exhalation. It can be after exhalation also, there may be retention. One can. Then inhalation. But retention, whether it comes once or twice, retention is retention. So component is only 3. Inhalation, retention, exhalation. It's not 3 pranayamas. Pranayama is pranayama, but these 3 are component of each pranayama that we perform. Then there is a fourth dimension of it, where inhalation and exhalation disappear. Naturally what remains is retention only. Retention is kumbhak in Sanskrit word. Exhalation is rechak. Inhalation is purak. Kumbhak is retention. Now kumbhak appeared in the three components also. But we can't only stay in retention. For some time you can. For a few minutes you can. But then you will be required to inhale. And since you are inhaling, you will be required to exhale also after some time. So, at our stage, these three components are important. Until there is inhalation and exhalation going on, it is called kumbhak with inhalation and retention. With, Sanskrit word is sahit, that is with. So that is called sahit kumbhak. It is kumbhak, retention, but with what? Inhalation and exhalation. So all the pranayamas narrated in the yogic texts, Surya Vedan, Shitali, Siddhkari, Plavini, Murcha, Bastrika, all these pranayam are sahit kumbhaks. That is, there is retention, but there is also requirement of inhalation and exhalation. But then you can reach a state when inhalation and exhalation are not required at all. Then it will be only retention of breath, kumbha. Only in Sanskrit means keval. So keval kumbha is only retention. Now if you say that Patanjali has not mentioned keval kumbha, I agree, the word keval is not there, but then he says in one sutra, but in these three components, there is the fourth dimension, that is no inhalation and exhalation. That means only retention, and only retention in Sanskrit will become keval kumbhak. Keval means only. So that is the highest state of pranayama, and a yogi's goal should be to reach there. So till in the yogic text it is written, even Atiyog Pratipika, you will find a stanza, said you must practice Sahit Kumbhak, all different types of pranayamas, Sahit with inhalation, exhalation, till you reach a state of Keval Kumbhak. So our life is, when we breathe first, life begins. Our life ends with the last breath. But what sort of breath? With inhalation, exhalation. If you can learn only retention, keval kumbha, then your life becomes eternal. Death will never come to you. That is the end of yoga. So pranayama is not small thing. Till you became the final complete yogi with divine body, pranayama will not leave you in one way or the other. Be it Sahit Kumbhak or Keval Kumbhak. So, in Atiyog Pradipika, in commentary of one of its stanza, it is written that pranayama is the sole important factor which leads you from pranayama to pratyahara, from pratyahara to dharana, from dharana to dhyan, and from dhyan to samadhi. It's all a game of pranayama, regulation of breath. So importance of pranayama can never be minimized for a yoga sadhak, yoga experience. And that is why in Upanishads, entire path of yoga is called pranopasana, worship of prana. Pranopasana, that is pranopasana, worship of prana. And it is said, when you know prana, its origin and its functions and its power, he surely becomes immortal. Means he can conquer death. What is immortality? Conquering death. By then you get the divine body. So there is no other method of yoga or divine body or anything without the help of pranayama. Ayam is regulation. Prana plus ayam, regulation of breath is pranayama. But important is not regulation, is prana. So prana is life, force. I have translated in my book prana as life force, because it is the energy of the spirit sitting in us. Like I was telling you, the energy of sun. Sun doesn't run to earth, but its energy does come here, heat, light. So likewise, our soul is in our heart, but energy of the soul runs through the body. When I raise my hand, it is due to prana. If I move my finger, it is due to prana. If I move my tongue and speak, it is due to prana. When soul leaves the body, spirit leaves the body, it takes its energy with it. So this is only a corpse then, dead matter. With earth, fire, air, ether element in it. But the life force is gone. So soul is soul, life given, but its energy is prana. So prana is attached with the soul. Now, in order to get self-realization, realization of the spirit within, you will not reach the spirit straight away, catch hold of its energy. That will take you. If you can climb on the rays of sun, you can reach one day to the sun also. And that's how the siddhas move all over the cosmos. They don't sit in a rocket. They get the energy, the light, ray of light, and then they travel according to the ray and reach where they want to reach. Yoga is not just mere few exercises and so many shops are open teaching yoga. Yoga is very big thing, even modern science is smaller before it. So it's good to be interested in such a extraordinary science. But there cannot be any haste. As I told you, maybe you might have to spend few lifetimes up to it. But that readiness should be there, that now let us die many times, but don't leave this. Then someday you will reach there. So that is the importance of pranayama.
So that means that pranayama would have to be practiced separately from the practice of asanas, because the retention during the practice of asanas is not sufficient for the practice of breathing.
Yes. When we practice asana, it is, you see, there are certain physical principles also, biological principles which will work here. You see, when we bend down, bend forward, naturally also we exhale. And if we want to stretch ourselves, naturally we inhale. So in asana also the same principle will apply. Any asana which involves forward bending should be done in exhalation. Any asana which requires to bend backward, stretching the body, then you have to inhale. It should be performed in inhalation. Then, when you reach that perfect state of asana, withhold. And then again, when you want to, after bending forward, want to come up, again inhale. So there also regulation of breath you can apply, but lesser degree, lesser extent. At that time, main thing is giving exercise to your limbs and body, making it supple, flexible, healthy, and tonic of all the internal organs of the body. So in asana also, you can derive maximum benefit of asana by such regulation of breath. That's why during an asana, what should be the breathing process is given in all the techniques narrated by me in my book. If asanas are performed that way, it will be more advantageous than just simply doing asana in a random manner, breathing. But special practice of pranayama, Sahit Kumbhaks, they are to be practiced separately. That's why, apart from asana, pranayama is the next higher step. And some yogic textbooks do mention that you must first gain mastery, make the body supple, and then practice pranayama. But you can simultaneously also do the practice of asana and pranayama. Means practice asana for half an hour, then for 15 minutes practice pranayama separately. So both practice will go on together. It's not necessary to first complete practice of asana totally and then begin with pranayama. But best will be, many people ask me, should we do pranayama first or asana first? I said, do what suits you. but really speaking, if you ask me, first do asanas, because by that time your body is free, and so that in practice of pranayama you feel better and your retention of breath will be longer.
But if somebody overexerts his physical body during the practice of asana, then he cannot perform pranayama afterwards. If somebody exerts his body too much then he has no
No.
strength.
That pranayama will give him rest. Pranayama, you have not to move much. Only breathe has to move. And that will certainly give you rest. Pranayama is not a fatigue. And while doing pranayama, you can also do mantra, you see. Even during asana, you can do mantra mentally. So many things can be done at a time. And if you keep your mind in mantra, that's an additional advantage.
If pranayama is performed after the asana practice, is there any need for shavasana after asanas before the pranayama?
Yes, you can. If one has practiced asanas which create more fatigue, certainly rest.
And then
Asana for 5-10 minutes and then you can begin this.
is there any need to do the shavasana or resting after performing of pranayama, or there is no need?
After pranayama, I think your body will tell you that no need. You are already rested.
Guruji, many teachers would sometimes explain that if you want to perform this Anulom Vilom Pranayam properly, like you have to start with some different ratio. Like for this time you would have to do inhalation, for this time withhold your breath, and then exhalation for that time. Would you comment on this?
Oh yes, some yogic textbook mention about the matra of inhalation and exhalation. But that is for the higher achievement after pranayama. Means it has given a key that when you reach to this level of pranayama, you will get this type of experience. And it is said when you do in a higher matra, 3 matras are mentioned. First is there will be profuse perspiration. So in Siberia also if you do, there must be perspiration. It's better to do it in India. You can perspire soon.
Good.
That is not the case, you see. The body heat is created, so perspiration comes out. And then more matras, tremor is created in the body. Not due to cold, And then little more matra and your body will levitate from the ground. So those degrees are applicable when you reach near that state. So don't count. They have just given an indication that it will automatically come this proportion when you experience this. For experiencing that, you need not try to get that proportion. Then it will be foolishness. It will not help, it will harm. You see, over-retention, then your capacity will harm your lungs. Instead of getting help of pranayama in improving your nadis, purifying, you might contact ailments. That is why always said that whatever practice you do out of 8 limbs, first consult Guru. But as you said, many gurus are teaching like that. I don't criticize them, but I tell you what I understand.
Honestly speaking, I was practicing pranayama for about 18 years when I met you. So I was trying to do the ratio of 1:4:2. But when you told me to do pranayama without ratio and I started doing it, the experience was much more.
Without with ratio, when you did you levitate?
No.
You are far from levitation. So don't bother about that. I said it's just an indication given that when this will happen, spontaneously your matra will be like this. Without that, it is not. It's a formula. How the rocket will take fire, it's a scientific principle. So man sitting inside the rocket, he doesn't know that principle. Only the NASA scientists know, or your scientist in Russia may know. But the astronaut sitting inside the capsule, he need not bother about how this ignites and it takes. He is taught what he has to do there. Everything is taught according to the level where a seeker reaches. Just to tell everything of the textbook is good if you are teaching the textbook, but it doesn't make you a yogi. You read my book on divine body, and will you have the divine body? Even when the author himself hasn't got, how can you have? But that is theory, you see, for the... But if I want to teach that or write that, I must know, I must have the key for it. Just by reading the book, if you write, you are likely to prove wrong.
It's really bewildering, as you was mentioning these symptoms of perspiration or shivering.
Yeah.
Like if you try hold your breath
Little
hard
more.
enough, then you start perspiring or shivering.
Yeah.
But as you're mentioning, there should not be overexertion,
Yeah.
because overexertion creates perspiration and trembling.
That way, you can start with the Keval Kumbha. Why do you want to do Sahid Kumbha? And I teach you the method of Keval Kumbha, not difficult. Just first seal your mouth with adhesive tape and don't touch it again. Then seal your nose with the adhesive tape
With a clip.
and you are in Keval Kumbha. Will you overcome death or you will be prey to death? So just is
I remember you was also mentioning that pranayama is the best of tapa, austerity.
yes.
So which
That means we read in the scriptures that this sage did tapas for so many years. So he replaced the word tap with pranayama. Very easy. Because as I told, it is all prana, upasana, worship of prana. So it's all pranayama, regulation of prana, the energy of spirit. So God's energy is also prana. He is a bigger spirit. So there is nothing other than the display of prana.
So the pranayama as the best tapas, it means keval kumbhak or any type of pranayama.
No, even tap cannot be only 1 minute tap. As I told you that such and such says he did tapas for 50 years or 100 years.
It's Keval Kumbhak.
But they took so many years to reach Keval Kumbhak. After Keval Kumbhak, nothing is to be done. You have to do something till we face the death, till we face the hunger and thirst, till we face the diseases, deficiencies. But if all of these are wiped off, why should we bother about tapas even? After that, nothing remains to be done. Then Sergei will be free to roam in 14 worlds without stoppage in company of sage Narad.
So, how would manifest the improper practice of pranayama? Like, would be the difference between somebody who is properly practicing pranayama on our level and somebody who is improperly practicing?
Yes, you first develop the right understanding of it. And then understand for a beginner level what should be good practice. So start with it. But you say, why should I become a beginner? I should become an advanced man immediately. It is like child will say, why should I be admitted in primary school? Take me to the college. Shall we take him to the college? We know that in order to go to college, these are the rules. Pass the primary school, higher school, then you can go to college. But in this, everybody flouts the regular rules. In this, everybody wants to jump straight on the 7th floor. But nobody wants to climb the steps of the staircase. So first discrimination on part of the aspirant is that anything can be attained stage by stage, and haste doesn't help. In this, if you do haste and do wrongly, you can meet death earlier. You set out to conquer death, and then you invite it earlier by improper way of practicing. So any practice you should be done in proper way. Even in the worldly dealings, business or whatever, if you do something in an improper way, you will suffer the loss. If you want gain, slow and steady wins the race. You go step by step, but that's a solid progress. Then you are not to fall back. You can't straight away master the highest place. First master the first step. After mastering the first step, master the second, so that there is no fallback from there. Ensure.
And Guruji, you was mentioning these other types of pranayama mentioned in shastras, scriptures, but also you didn't mention about the practice of other pranayamas in the beginning stage. Do I understand correctly, like that in the beginning stages the only practice is recommended just Anulom Viloma?
Anulom Vilom is the pranayama for purification of the nadis. You see, there is filth in our nadis. We daily add something inside, and then filth we excrete in the toilet. That means we know that there is some dirt inside. Now you must daily, if you eating is necessary, but then cleaning the dirt also is equally necessary, otherwise it will create diseases in our body. So cleansing of nadi is in any way necessary. If the drainage pipe is choked up, what will happen?
Dirty water comes
Yes.
out.
So our drainage pipe should not be chopped up also. It needs some exercise to digest food properly and throw out the dirt. So everything is scientific. Similarly, for purifying our physical body, asana is better. For purifying our subtle body, pranayama is better. And then you have to also purify your causal body. For that, the higher Raj Yoga is better. Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, after Pratyahara. So, cleaning is going on till you conquer death, disease and old age. But one must have patience for it and perseverance for years, perhaps whole life, 5 lifetimes, 10 lifetimes. But then goal should be only this. That is why it is difficult to find a realized yogi in a big number. And divine body yogi, one may come after 1,000 years or after centuries. Not so frequent. So, yoga that I understand and know is this. If there is any shortcut to this yoga, and somebody knows, that's another matter. But I think there is no shortcut. And real yoga is this. Temporary yoga, it won't help us. It has helped none.
So if I start practicing pranayama under the guidance of Guru, under your guidance, and then you feel that some other pranayama should be introduced, then there would be certain specific instructions. Not before that you start practicing other pranayama.
Before that it will not be useful. I am telling you all the theories till you become immortal. But just by knowing theory, if you become immortal, then nothing more to say. But if you have to start with the zero, then keep patience. And then only surrender to Guru, and Guru's guidance is final. Then one can go up the ladder step by step. But if one becomes hasty that, no, this Guru takes me slowly, let me go in a jet plane. A jet plane can, if it crashes, instead of conquering death, death will conquer you. You see, in Yoga Kundalini Upanishad, there is a chapter on Khechari. And it says that this Khechari mudra, if you attain, you can conquer death. But then in achieving the perfect Khechari mudra, it is said, Yugapad nahi, Yugapad vartate, yasya sariram vilayam vyajit. It means don't be hasty in this path of Khechari mudra. One who shows haste and tries to do something faster, his body will be destroyed. Means he will die. So real practices are fraught with danger. And then that is why Guru's guidance at every step is necessary. But not daily guidance. Guru will guide you and will watch if you perform that, what change is coming up. And he knows your progress and level. And when he feels that now you should be guided further, then he will guide. till then it won't be useful. If I am studying in primary school, and if I am permitted to attend the lecture in a college, I can only listen what the professor speaks. But of what use it is to me? Because my level is not the level of a college student, so I can't grasp it, and it will not be helpful to me. If I have spare time, I can waste time sitting there for 1 hour and listen somebody speaking. We never do such foolishness in the worldly life. Why do we want to do foolishness in spiritual life? But in spiritual life, everybody thinks that any foolishness also can do in this. And no, here more wisdom is necessary.
So simple. Guruji, in your book Classical Hatha Yoga, you explain that while doing pranayama, a person perceives prana directly, and without that result, nobody can go to higher stages. Could you please comment what does it mean, prana perceived directly, and how it happens, and what it means, like how pranayama contributes to the next levels of yoga?
Yes, as I told you, the only passage leading to God is prana. Without the help of prana, nobody has ever succeeded in reaching the higher spiritual state. And prana, as I told you, is the energy of spirit, the soul within. It is part of it. It is not part of this mortal body. Mortal body is made up of all this matter. And cosmos is made up of matter. And broadly matter is what? Earthy element, watery element, fiery element, airy element, and ether. Modern science also accepts this. It doesn't have the prana. You see, electricity, light are there, but you bring the wires, do the wiring of the building, put the orders of the bulb, fit the bulb into it, switch is put on the switch, will there be light? Till you get connection from the powerhouse, all that matter, wiring and switch and holder and bulb, they are all material ready to receive. But when the current of electrical power flows into the wire, then there is a glow in the bulb. So material fitting doesn't just bring the light. You must seek the connection of the main powerhouse with your house. Then it will work. So matter is just matter. Connection with the powerhouse means connection with the spirit. Body has connection with the spirit when we are born. So the power runs. And all movements, whatever we do, it is because of the help of prana, the energy of spirit. No sooner spirit leaves, energy of it goes with it, and then only the matter remains. That is corpse, dead body. Of what use it is? Dead body has two eyes, but it cannot see. Dead body has 2 ears, but it cannot hear. Dead body has nose, but it cannot breathe. Dead body has mouth, but it cannot have any taste. So what is lost in the body? Nothing is lost in the body. Every part of it is there. Only connection is disconnected because he has not paid the bill. So if you don't pay the bill, your connection will be cut off. So when our body becomes old, the spirit thinks, now he cannot pay my bill. So disconnect, go. So then our body becomes useless. It cannot fetch even $1. Dead animals fetch money, huh? But dead human being cannot fetch money. It cannot be of any use to anyone. Animal skin we use for shoes and many other things. Human skin, nothing can be done out of it. So, prana is very important, and it should be properly understood, properly perceived, and utilized properly. But it cannot be perceived as we perceive the matter, because it's not matter.
Yeah,
it is spiritual energy, you see. Energy can be felt, it cannot be seen. You want to run, you need energy. Can you see that energy?
No.
But you feel the zeal.
I feel good.
That I will run. So it can be felt, it cannot be seen. So perceiving is by feeling, not perceiving by seeing. If somebody expects that if Guruji shows me prana, then I will catch hold of it and utilize. If necessary, I will eat prana and increase more prana in it. You need not, but feel the prana. I have explained you. Look, all movements that we do, anything that we are doing, even seeing is with the help of that energy. Otherwise, in a corpse, as I told you, there are eyes, but they have no power of seeing. Because power comes from prana. So that is life force, you see. Whatever we do because we are alive. And alive by the presence of soul and its energy. So that can be felt, that cannot be seen, because it is very subtle. Our eyes are gross. Gross eyes can see only gross material things, nothing else. There is subtle world, much bigger than this. But then you will say, oh, Guruji is just bluffing. If they show subtle world larger, then we will believe. But I know that you will never agree with me, but when you see it, you will believe that it is true. So, that is, our level should change. In yoga we say that there is a third eye. Why is it necessary? When you have two, why would you have one? But with two eyes you see only gross things. With one eye, the third eye, you see the subtle world. You say, where is the eye? I will get it opened with operation. Yeah. There is no eye as we know eye. as an organ, but it is a faculty within. And you will see the subtle world through that. And then these two eyes will not function. That is Shambhavi Mudra. That at that time, the vision of these two eyes don't go further than our pupils. Means it cannot go out, it cannot see anything. But subtle world he sees, but not with this eye, with the third eye. Now only if you experience that you will understand the truth. Till then everybody in this world will reject this idea. But by their rejection the truth doesn't change. Instead they should try to reach that level. Modern scientists have done so many discoveries, so many new inventions are there. Some are really amazing for the brain to understand. But why can't they think of trying this method too? Because to work in a physical laboratory with the physical instruments by seeing with the eye is easier, this is difficult.
Nobody can do the job for you.
So yoga is not a small thing, but real yoga, if you want to do, understand it properly, and then as I say, be ready to spend only lifetimes, not one lifetime, in order to reach the highest and then know the truth of all these things. Why I say is that I understand by experience that this is the science and it is worth trying.
So, when person does pranayama, the later stages,
You see, you can feel your energy, prana energy, you can understand that though I can't see, I do feel it and I understand now, perceive what it means. And with that help of that energy, I have to proceed. Then you will start loving that energy, making proper valuation of it and understanding its importance. You will love to do that sadhana. But till you perceive it properly, understand, feel it, you will be meeting with dejection. But it can be overcome by surrendering to Guru. Guru will guide. But if you have your own thoughts for evaluating what Guru is saying, then God may help you.
Very scientifically explained. So, if somebody was practicing pranayama according to the proper method as taught by Guru, and he mastered pranayama, what would be his symptoms of that person who mastered pranayama?
We just discussed that mastering of pranayama means keval kumbha. That is the first symptom.
He's not
Find out whether he is breathing or not. How does a doctor today declare that a person is dead? Tell me.
By heartbeat, by breath, by these two.
So call the doctor. and say that what are the symptoms of this man's body. And after making all the investigations according to their method, if the doctor declares that he is a dead person, and then in 5 minutes this man opens the eyes and speaks to you, that is the symptom of a person who has mastered the highest of the pranayama, the Keval Kumbha.
So his heart is also not beating.
Yes, so worldly symptoms are worldly symptoms.
This is very interesting. Does it mean that even on the level of the next stage, pratyahar, person still doesn't breathe and there is no heartbeat?
No, no. Who said so? Pratyahara is that he is not bothered about the external world. His mind is not attracted to go in the outer world. He is happy inside because he is seeing some cinema inside. When you enter a theatre house to see a cinema, are you bothering about the outer world? Or
No.
seeing the screen and the cinema, enjoying cinema?
Enjoying screen.
Screen, and after spending money, here no money is to be spent, no ticket is necessary. And the cinema will open. So after pratyahara, it is seeing the cinema inside the body. So forget about the outer world. When you inside cinema is, if it is very interesting, who will remember the outer world? Tell me. But it's the beginning, not the end of cinema. It is when it starts. This is the title of cinema, these are the actors who perform. Salih is the photographer. Everything comes on the screen, and then the real cinema begins. The beginning is not end. You will have to spend 2.5 hours or 3 hours in the cinema to see the last scene. So here, scenes will go on for years together. And the real interesting thing in this cinema is that in the screen cinema, there are other actors, their pictures are seen. Somebody is hero, somebody is villain. But here, hero is yourself. Villain is also yourself. Everything. So you are seeing the cinema, being a part of it. That is wonderful. Then who will bother about the outer world? When you get that much interest inside, that is just pratyahara. And then see the whole cinema, what stunt is going on. That is dharana, and then dhyan, and then samadhi. Then end, the end. But in that cinema hall, after the end, you come out and again start your normal work in the worldly surroundings. Here, after end, nothing to be done. Then free time. You are beyond death. Permanent, eternal existence. But at that time, you don't need anything. You don't need to eat, you don't need to drink. You are always in bliss.
Very tempting.
It is all very tempting, otherwise we will become a yogi. Undergoing all these hardships, unless there is something, some prize at the end. Hmm?
I just remembered in your book, Classical Hatha Yoga, you explaining that Pratyahara consists of these three practices, and one of them is Keval Kumbhaku, stoppage of the breathing.
Slowly it will come after Pratyahara. Pratyahara is just withdrawing your attention from outer world to the inner world. At present what happens? Everybody in the world has tried to meditate in his own way by closing the eyes. And everybody has failed in meditating. So everybody has got frustrated and left it. But everybody has tried. Why? Because they found it difficult, not interesting, so they give up. But if you persist, then something interesting will come. Then you will not give up. So after Pratyahara, your interest in the outer world is gone. Inner cinema is more interesting. Even if when we are seeing something and some friend comes and calls us and say, oh, wait, let me first enjoy this. So then you are not interested in outer world but the inner cinema. And there slowly, as your prana, as I told you, pranayama becomes pratyahara. From pratyahara, pranayama itself takes you to samadhi. From samadhi, pranayama itself takes you to dhyana and dharana. So pranayama practice goes on till finally in samadhi you attain the keval kumbhaku. But in between it is interesting because a yogi also gets one by one power in himself. That is what is known as siddhis, the miraculous powers. But then if he becomes interested in using the siddhi in the visible world, then his progress here stops. Many people try to learn yoga because with this goal in mind. That if I get some siddhi and power, I will then mesmerize the world. So God is not foolish to help him. He is wiser than us. That is why Patanjali has given a sutra that even if the heavenly beings invite you to go there and enjoy, don't go. Because it's a detraction on the path. He says, don't go even to heaven, but you are interested in this earth. You want to use your siddhis here with these people and impress your friends and enemies also. That look, now I am powerful. Then he is not fit to travel on this path at all.
He cannot even approach to these levels due to these desires.
One can never make progress if one has this feeling in mind. Take it from me. You say, I am disinterested in world, so you are fit to practice this, and then after practice you will feel interested in that. Then you are already interested. Why do you come and then get interested again? Once you lose interest, lose it permanently.
No turning back.
Yes, but those temptations, you see, they are our limitations and we can't make progress on this path. And even in the subtle world, there are many different types of experiences. Cinemas, how many types of cinemas are going on? Some cinema are called comedies. Some are called tragedies.
Dramas.
Some are called, what do you call?
Thriller.
Huh?
Thriller.
Thrillers.
Or action.
And some are like dreadful.
Horror
ghosts.
films.
Huh? Horror films. So in this also, inner film, there are all types available. Comedy, tragedy, horror, thriller, everything, all types of experiences are there.
Sounds good.
And for seeing the cinemas here in the worldly theatres, you have to pay for ticket. You are free. You must have only time to see it. That is the payment you need to give. Mind, again, to clarify, even if it is comedy, hero is you. Even if it is a tragedy, hero is you. In horror also, hero is you. So you are seeing your own cinema. There is no other actor than you. Others are there apart. You see, other characters are there. But hero in every picture is yourself. Because you visualize it.
So I'm gonna get the main role in all those flicks.
Yeah.
It's quite clear, Guruji. Thank you very much for explaining us this topic of pranayama. It seems that pranayama is actually would have to be
Yes.
a main
Yes.
accent.
That is the real sadhana. Pranopasana, as I told, Upanishads call it pranopasana. Worshipping prana. Prana is sacred in us.
Well, if you be so kind as to next time more elaborately explain us this topic of pranapasana and how it is all being manifested, we would be more than appreciated.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Shri Satadeva Guru Ki